When was the last time you listened to the voice of your inner girl? Maybe you don't even remember. Maybe you learned to silence that voice in the name of strength, responsibility, survival. But today, more than just a video, you're about to receive a love letter written through the lens of Carl Jung's deep psychology, dedicated to the most forgotten, yet most essential part of you. If you feel like something is missing, like you're always trying to please others but never feel truly whole, this message might change everything. Here, we're not just talking about self-knowledge. We're talking about healing, reunion, inner belonging. Sparkles, if this resonates with you, subscribe to the channel right now and explore our members area, a sacred space filled with deep practices, guided letters, meditations, and exclusive content to help you heal your soul and embrace who you truly are. The inner girl, according to Carl Jung's deep psychology, represents our purest essence, the child we once were and who still lives within us, even if often forgotten. She is the symbol of spontaneity, sensitivity, creativity, and vulnerability. She's that part of the soul untouched by the conditioning of the adult world. When we disconnect from her, we lose contact with our truth, our most authentic desires, and our ability to live with lightness, intuition, and wholeness. Jung believed that this inner child wasn't just a metaphor, but a psychic reality that holds deep memories, traumas, pain, and also undeveloped potential. Ignoring her is like locking a treasure in a box and throwing away the key. Life then becomes automatic, rigid, repetitive. Many of our emotional wounds, poor choices, or existential emptiness stem from this disconnection with the inner child. It's not that life is wrong. It's that we're distant from ourselves. But why do we ignore such an essential part of us? In many cases, we were taught to. From an early age, we learned that it's better to be strong than sensitive, obedient than spontaneous, rational than intuitive. Social and family pressures mold us to be accepted, but in the process, we leave pieces of ourselves behind. Jung called this premature adultification, when a child is forced to grow up too quickly, swallowing emotions, hiding pain, and taking on responsibilities that don't belong to her. This disconnection comes at a cost. The wounded inner girl shows up in self-sabotaging behaviors, emotional dependency, identity crises, and relationship struggles. It's as if something inside us is always asking for attention, love, and recognition. But instead of listening, we learn to suppress, control, and rationalize. Jung reminds us that healing only begins when we have the courage to look inward and meet this forgotten child with compassion and presence. To recognize the inner girl is an act of radical love. It means embracing the truth that within every grown woman lives a child who longs to be heard, held, and expressed. And this expression is exactly what can restore our joy, our true connection with others, and the deeper meaning of life. The journey back to our essence isn't easy, but it's liberating. And it all begins with one simple question: what does my inner girl need from me right now? You might not notice it right away, but the signs of a wounded inner girl show up in your daily life, through reactions, patterns, and feelings that seem to have no clear explanation. Listening to them is the first step toward healing. Have you ever felt sudden anger over something small? Or a sadness that feels much heavier than the situation? Often, these emotions come from your inner girl trying to express herself. She's not being heard, so she cries out, through tears, outbursts, or a heavy silence. These are unconscious attempts to ask for care and attention. When the same painful patterns repeat in your life, toxic relationships, self-sabotage, procrastination, it's likely your inner girl is trying to protect you. She learned that the world can be dangerous, that love can hurt, that success might bring rejection. So even without meaning to, she holds you back, out of fear. Carl Jung taught us about the persona, the social masks we wear to be accepted, loved, and understood. But the more we use these masks, the more we bury our truth. And in our shadow, the part of us where we store what we've rejected, our inner girl often hides, along with her pain, desires, and unlived dreams. These signs aren't failures. They are invitations. Invitations to pause, look inward, and ask, where is this feeling really coming from? When you begin to recognize that these emotions have a deeper root and a voice longing to be heard, the healing truly begins. It's not about fixing, it's about listening, and little by little, reclaiming your story with kindness, patience, and love. Healing the inner girl doesn't begin with ready-made answers, but with the willingness to listen, to truly listen. In a world that values doing, producing, and solving, deep listening has become a revolutionary act. Listening to your inner girl is like reopening a long interrupted conversation. It's sitting quietly with your own emotions and saying, "I'm here, you can speak." This listening is without judgment, without urgency, without the intent to fix. It's a loving presence in the face of pain. Often, this inner girl has been ignored for so long that, at first, she doesn't speak. She cries, she remains silent, she withdraws. That's why the first step is the consistency of holding space for her. Imagine a wounded, frightened child who has been unnoticed for years. She won't trust you right away. But over time, when she sees that you're genuinely willing to listen, she begins to open up. What she brings may be surprising. Forgotten memories, denied feelings, desires you didn't even remember having. All of this is part of the reunion with your essence. Carl Jung's psychology offers us a powerful tool for this process: active imagination. Jung believed that the mind has the capacity to dialogue with different parts of itself through images, symbols, and visualizations. In this context, you can imagine an encounter with your inner girl, perhaps in a garden, in your childhood room, or in a safe space that only you know. In this meeting, you can ask her, "What do you need from me right now?" And then, just listen. She may respond with words, perhaps with a feeling, maybe with tears. Everything is valid. This symbolic practice has a profound effect because it activates the unconscious and allows repressed content to surface in a safe way. The inner girl doesn't communicate only with logic. She speaks through intuition, dreams, images, and feelings. By listening to her in this way, you're not only accessing old memories, you're making space for a new relationship with yourself, based on truth and compassion. And it is in this space of authentic connection that the healing process truly begins. The most beautiful part of all of this is realizing that listening, as simple as it may seem, is one of the purest forms of love. When you stop to listen to your pain, without trying to fix it immediately, you are telling yourself, "I am worthy of care, even when I am broken." And this message, when internalized, transforms. It begins to heal not just the inner girl, but also the adult woman, who starts to live with more lightness, presence, and truth. Listening is the beginning, it's the portal, and sometimes it's all that forgotten part of you ever wanted. The process of healing the inner girl is not just about listening to her needs, but about an even deeper step: unconditional acceptance. Love, in its purest and truest sense, does not demand perfection or quick change. It simply accepts, embraces, and protects. When you learn to love your inner girl, you accept her as she is, with all her pains, fears, and vulnerabilities. It is in this space of genuine love that the deepest transformation takes place. Unconditional love means stopping the search for perfection, both in yourself and in your inner girl. When we try to quickly fix our wounds or ignore them, we are denying the real need for care and acceptance that these parts of us are asking for. Unconditional love, on the other hand, recognizes that we all, in our essence, are worthy of love, exactly as we are, with all our flaws, insecurities, and imperfections. This love is not about fixing the pain, but giving space for it to exist, without rushing for it to disappear. By embracing the inner girl, you begin to understand that true healing does not come from quick solutions or magic formulas. It comes from a gentle, patient, and respectful process of reconnecting with the most vulnerable parts of yourself. Often, the inner child carries a deep fear of being rejected, unloved, or misunderstood. And what she needs most is someone to offer her security, affection, and, above all, acceptance. This is the point of transformation. Unconditional love does not mean glossing over difficulties or ignoring life's challenges. On the contrary, it is a love that grows in adversity, that blooms when you allow yourself to feel the pain without identifying with it. When you embrace your inner girl, You are not denying the struggles she carries. You are giving her space to be, to express herself, so that, gradually, she can heal the wounds she's carried since childhood. Real or inspired stories of transformation show how this unconditional love can change lives. Women who learn to love themselves and embrace their wounds have, over time, found peace and fulfillment. They have reconnected with creativity, joy, and their own truth. This transformative love not only heals the inner girl but also the adult woman, who becomes more whole, authentic, and at peace with her own journey. When you begin practicing unconditional love for your inner girl, you will notice that the healing process is not about changing, but about learning to accept the truest version of yourself with love and compassion. And through this love, transformation will naturally occur. We've come to the end of a deep journey where you had the opportunity to reconnect with your inner girl. This healing process isn't just about moments of great revelation, but also the small daily steps of listening, acceptance, and love. Throughout this journey, you discovered more about the wounds that were dormant, but also about the strengths, creativity, and pure essence that have always been present within you, even if hidden. Now, at the end of this video, it's important for you to understand that this is not the end of the journey, but just the beginning of a daily commitment to your inner child. Closing this phase with love and gratitude is essential. When we speak of unconditional love, we mean that true healing doesn't come from quickly fixing or changing the wounds that appear, but from gently embracing your inner girl with patience and compassion. This acceptance, without haste or pressure, is what will allow her to heal gradually. Remember, healing is not a finish line, but a path of self-awareness and self-compassion that continues to unfold over time. Now, it's the perfect time to practice the visualization exercise. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and feel each inhale and exhale as a warm, comforting embrace for your being. Then, visualize a safe, peaceful, and welcoming place. It could be a garden, a beach, or a blooming field. Any space where you feel at ease. In this space, imagine your inner girl approaching you. Look into her eyes and gently ask, "What do you need from me right now?" This moment of encounter is powerful because you're offering not just your presence, but your attentive and loving listening. Allow any message or emotion to surface in this space of connection. If she needs something specific, be ready to embrace it. There's no rush. Everything has its own time. This exercise can be repeated whenever you feel the need to reconnect with your essence, to reinforce this deep bond with your inner girl. It's important to remember that healing your inner girl is not a one-time task. It is an ongoing process that requires patience, persistence, and a lot of love. And every step you take, no matter how small it seems, is a significant one. Transformation doesn't happen through a big event, but through the small daily choices of caring for yourself, embracing your emotions, and making space for your own love. Your inner girl doesn't need fixing. She needs to be heard, accepted, and loved exactly as she is. Now, if this content touched your soul and you feel ready to continue this journey of healing, self-awareness, and reconnection, subscribe to the channel and explore our membership area. There, you'll have access to exclusive practices, guided meditations, love letters, and content that will deepen this process of healing and transformation. Our membership area was created for you, to support your journey and help you continue reconnecting with your true essence, creating a path of peace, authenticity, and love. Don't forget to subscribe and come explore this transformative universe that awaits you.